probably share that. When I say narrative, I mean that the items that go with the crabs or shrimps or whatever are related in story. Tabasco, whatever, knives, pepper, picnic cloths, newspaper, which you might well have in a, if you were eating crabs on a table in summer. There are more shrimp over here. There are more cloths. There are more other things that could be added, whether you're doing a narrative or not. Since there are three shrimp left, if somebody is simply doing a shrimp, display on a 23 by 30 piece of paper, then take one, because they're probably not. But if, whatever you're going to do, think about the thing. If it's a narrative, emphasize that. In my email handout, I said, when you think about these creatures, they are creatures that are capable of motion, and try to get into their body, that the fact that they have a claw that can do this, so that they're not just a piece of plastic. They are. This is a little different from a conventional still life of apples and plates. Just to keep your eyes on some different kinds of watercolor. This is a little display. It's random because they don't work together in period or whatever. But as I'm sifting through things and preparing for class and all, I come upon things and I just thought they all are very different aspects of watercolor and wonderful. This is kind of a rainy day, and for anyone who's ever tried, think about how you execute that. It's just a lovely, simple treatment. That, of course, is Sargent, who we touched on a lot. Since then, I've been to the exhibit. This is Gwen Johns, Augustus Johns' sister, and this is in the Museum of Women, the National Museum of Women Art. It's a wonderful, blocky, shapy watercolor, and unusual. And this is the Master Cezanne. And this, I cannot remember who this is. It's an American painter, I think Maine. But if you look at it closely, it's a lovely watercolor where I think it's a he, decided to take out this boat that was in there, though it sort of comes across the way it is now, like as a ghost boat, so there's sort of scrim with fog or mist. So anyway, I just brought those because, you stumble on these things, and it's just exciting to see the different ways that watercolor is used. Here are examples. Walter Anderson's wonderful crab. Well, those of you who've been to the Dürer, or even if you haven't been, he's got a fabulous crab. And here are some photographs of fish, because this time I did not bring fish. But I took the pictures at the Main Avenue fish market, which is fun. It's pretty fun Mondays because nobody's there, so they're really bargaining. Or they don't. I mean, as soon as I was hesitant, they said, "Oh, well, what about $10?" Well, yeah. And then these were little things I played with for this for shadow things, but that's another part of if anyone's interested in that today. So there we are.
Beautiful shadow.
So I hope you have thought about whether you would like the narrative approach. There's a wonderful conglomeration over there of color
and
objects, and also using the newspaper. The newspaper, we've done other exercises with newspaper as a background surround. That's an interesting surround, always.
Yes.
So, there we are. Let's see, what do I see in here? I'm going to put a little, my kind of a lemon in here. And lovely, this
Oh, nice.
wonderful transparent Pyrrole orange.
So, my advice, when you're cleaning paints, make sure you shut the little
The
plunger
trap, yeah.
until you cap your paint.
Oh, that's it.
All right.
Or cap your paint before you clean it. Well, no, I
Why
couldn't.
were you cleaning it?
Because I couldn't get the
Okay,
cap
but
on.
it's
The Pyrrole orange.
Oh, I did,
part
I did.
around
Look
the pack.
Green.
Oh,
A little bit of,
blue.
Sapling.
no, probably.
Undersea.
No,
Caroline.
Caroline
Caroline who?
green.
Jones.
Real dark, but not in the hands of a
All right,
master.
this is on a cold press, and so I'm going to now do a lot of amending to try to get the translucency.
Notice you switch brushes.
It's just.
I did, but okay, it's a little deceptive.
The trim.
Looks a lot better on paper.
I mean, look at that though. See?
Yeah, exactly.
And some people, like you, are into that. So that would be, you might indeed want that.
It's like a good brush.
It's a terrible.
Is that the Brooklyn Museum of Art?
nice point.
No, they
it's
have them.
Georgia.
They have it at the
Okay.
Brooklyn Museum too. It was from the Georgia Museum. Well,
Oh,
it's good to
Deborah.
have in your pocket at all times.
All right, because this is cold press, you can do all sorts of stuff.
I did.
And I'm just going to now get in this,
Removal
a
time.
little bit of removal to get this
They're
translucency.
just not used to removal.
Nor do you ever
In the
have to
hands
be.
of her, it's terrific.
Look what it does though.
I need it. Is cold press easier to remove from, maybe? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and different cold presses too.
No.
Actually, this is not doing very well. It may be a bit of the
Not, right.
age of it.
Isn't hot press easier to remove from?
If, not really, I mean, you can do, I use hot press and do a lot of removal.
Because
But
it's so smooth.
it's smooth and you get a different, very much a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you can really see the It's so scary to Street. put something down intending to remove it and
Yeah,
you got to time it, right?
usually. Look at mine.
It's kind of a scary looking shrub.
Is he?
Oh, Deborah,
Yeah, he
that's
is,
so
a little
beautiful.
bit. Wait, he's not, I haven't gotten, you know what? I have not put, as I always say, be sure to put enough so that when you get the removal, and I am going to put a little bit more to get, so that the removal is
More obvious.
effective, yeah. This is not just removal, often removal you couple with, going back and getting more in.
Pressing lines.
Now, let's see. This paper is, we'll see what happens with my hot press paper. The sizing, it may be the age, as Sarah said about her paper. It's soaked in and isn't coming up. But it's still the same idea.
I'm not getting up again.
I can just see when I'm dragging it here, it's sucked in. This is the perfect thing for his beady eye. This, which is Bristol board. He has this little dagger, serrated, like a, what do you call those fish?
Oh yeah, like a swordfish.
Yeah.
It does. Wow. Is he from North Carolina or Africa?
You know, I didn't ask. Should have.
They're probably local, don't you think, from Africa?
I
I
don't
know.
know, sometimes.
Would
Are
they
they doing-
bother? All right, now with the, with this paper, I'm going to be more direct.
And you're not going to wet the whole thing?
I'm not going to wet it at all. I mean, it will obviously get wet, but,
So why have you chosen not to wet the whole thing?
because this actually is not a proper watercolor paper. It's a Bristol board, which is a wonderful drawing paper, and it benefits from being much more direct. If you and not going back, I mean, you can take something out if you wanted to, but you're better off not. And we, I don't know, you might not have been here, and I handed it out at one point for just experiment, and I could to this day, if anyone wants to try some. It's just works nicely for very direct kind of drawing with paint.
So I think the Bristol board is kind of a hot press on steroids. Is that kind of, I mean, it's
Yes and no. I mean, always keep that word in there that it really isn't proper
drawing.
for watercolor. But that said, it's kind of fun. Very, very worth. I have it right there. It's very worth just seeing what it makes your touch do. I mean, it makes me be very draw-y, and I like that. I am trying to do, when I'm looking as though my hand is shaking down the path here, I'm trying with that shaking sort of feeling to get a little of the articulation, so-called, you know, of the body and everything else.
They're sort of made up in segments, aren't they?
Right, and
Even
so
what
I'm
they're
trying to
peeled,
appreciate
they're
that.
segmented.
Let's try.
That has even a more delicate
Yeah, then
look
those,
than that, which is very appealing because
Yeah, delicate in what sense?
softer.
it's softer. The colors are kind of pastel. I mean, it makes the shrimp look very feminine, whereas when you look at this shrimp, it looks a little, I would say, dull.
You mean when you look at this one or this one?
When I look at this one,
Okay.
I think, oh, a little monochromatic except for that and that. I look at yours and I think, oh, bring it on.
Me too. I didn't want to do a shrimp till I saw you doing those things. Now I do.
If anyone wants to try the Bristol board to see if that is in any way inspiring, I would be
what's
glad.
nice, I think the drawingness of it is very appealing. I mean, the drawingness ends up being very painterly.
All right, now you're going to have to articulate that.
You're going to have to put your money where your mouth is.
But I like what you said. I think I know what you mean.
Because you actually see the strokes, you get the sort of fluidity and rhythm of the artist in the paint.
Yes.
It's not a photograph. It's got a lyricalness that
Yeah.
goes from the hand of the artist onto the paper. I think even a little more
Beautiful.
so than this one.
Yeah, hey, I wish we had
Articulate.
Did
Go
you
on.
get that
Keep going.
recorded?
Keep
Well,
going.
no, I think that kind of, I think that's it.
That's it? But that was
Exactly why.
beautifully said. Did you get that? Boy.
Sue gets
No,
everything.
seriously. Sue gets, yes, Sue gets, I mean, nothing hides from Sue.
No.
That is wonderful, wonderfully said. And I would,
I know, it
Well,
doesn't.
now we're not going to try shrimp, are we?
No,
the
I
shrimp
think
are
now
gonna
you
be
kind of
very
want to try
popular.
shrimp.
That one is gorgeous.
Okay, now that's your technique, by the way, and your brush, by the way. Now, to undermine everything I've said and done, I'm going to just show about removal. You can do something under. I can soften this line if I want, see, to a certain degree, but there's no need to. I would hate if it was ever felt that my interest in removal were a sine qua non, because it is not at all. But again, by the way, one thing that this does, this Bristol board stuff, which is not that different from I mean, it is on steroids, hot press in a sense.
I mean, it's a little more slick than hot press.
It's a little more slick, but it has a real, don't do that again, moment.
Okay. Probably not
Much
paper.
before conventional hot press. So you want to kind of, appreciate that.
Probably
All
not.
right, I'm not going to do it anymore.
That's perfect right there.
Oh, it's perfect? Right in here? Now, where I came back with the water?
Yeah.
In here or here?
Well, it's both.
Yeah, I like that.
It has sort of an oriental feel too.
Well,
And that's that.
it should.
That's the calligraphy.
And indeed it should. Now, this is the kind of thing you can get with certain hot presses, see? Where it starts, a little bit like what you were doing with your crab on your paper, that you put this back, but it retains that overlay, whereas here,
Yeah.
it melts.
Well,
And,
they're both.
I mean, you could go in back on this and do all sorts of stuff, but I'm not going to.